Hey guys, at PhotoFit we very often spend a long time helping people when they're looking for new equipment. It can be a bit of jungle out there, but one of the things that we do see is that we need to tell people that they need to trim their equipment when they're planning it. Trimming an equipment is obvious for a technical diver. They would know that they need to trim their equipment, but for some reason underwater photographers forget about that part. So trimming is something we spend a lot of time doing, and the easiest way to do it is to mount a simple piece of float. It's called the sticks on your arm system. Once you place enough of these on your arm, your system will be less negative buoyant, and if you're really good, it'll be completely buoyant. That would be great when you're doing video, because you can then maneuver your housing with just one arm. But it's also important for the underwater photographer because you get less sore hands after a long dive. So the sticks blocks are cheap and an easy solution and a very fast solution, but it's also possible to use a graphite arm. The graphite arms used to only come in metal, which made them heavier, which is not a good idea when you have an arm that needs to lift, that it's also heavy. So with the use of graphite, these arms have become much lighter, and often you can see how much they lift. This one lifts 580 grams. You normally need 2 graphite arms on a system, and you then add a regular arm on the outer part of the system. Have a look at this system that I just set up. Doesn't have brackets on, so it's a little bit wobbly, so never mind about that. Here you see the Sea Frog's arm. On the right side, it's 80 millimeter wide, and here is the little bit better Nauticam arm. This one's a 90 millimeter. They come in different length and width. This one is my own, and it suited my larger system. Then you have a regular arm here, and sometimes I need to trim this arm with a piece of sticks as well to get it completely buoyant. How you mount it depends on what you are going to do and what you think. I often place my light like this. I let the float arm go to the side and sort of stabilize the system. And it's easy to adjust the light like that when you do macro. And if you then want to do wide angle, all you have to do is loosen the clamps, and you can pull out the lights like that and get a wider light shot that way. Some people really like to have their arms straight up like this, because they then have a very narrow system. Let's say that you need to do macro and lift it down to do a close-up. But then you need a longer arm that would go down here to get the light close to your lens. What you can hear rattle here is the shaggle clamps. These are the long clamps. Normally I always use a 10 centimeter long clamp when I use the large arms. The reason for that is that you need to be able to bend the arms together like that, and you cannot do that if you don't have a long clamp. So I have that on both sides here, and on all my systems, no matter what I do, I always use the MP clamps with shackles if I don't have shackles from another system. But the shackles will enable you to place the lanyard like that. And this is how I start my dive. Somebody hands me my system and I take it underwater, and when I come down and start, I put the lanyard over here, and it's very easy. When I stop the dive, I put it back on, and when I do the safety stop, I can hold my system like that. It is also good when your system is standing on the boat floor and the boat starts to wobble. It'll make your system a lot more stable placing it on the floor like that. So these were a couple of ways to trim your system, and it's not to be taken lightly. It's an important task.